Sometimes you're sad all the time, sometimes you're anxious all the time. For your body, a lot of times you feel fatigue, like your body is just tired and you do not know why. You're waking up from the bed every morning, you're tired, you're going to bed, you're tired, you're going anywhere, you're like, see, I can't even make this thing again, I am tired. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ibifubara and I am a psychologist living and working here in Nigeria. My channel is all about mental health and lifestyle, meaning sit down videos about mental health like this one to sort of like, you know, walk you through how you can take care of your mental health better, and also lifestyle videos because I mean, I'm a human being and having fun is part of the things that make me me. So let's get right into the video. So all my life, since the first time I shook hands with somebody and said, hi, I want to work with you, they're like, hi, I want to work with you, I have never taken a break, I've never taken a leave. I've worked every single week of my life, like even weeks where I've told people, hey, I'm taking a break from work, but tell I have worked. Like I've done something, even if it's research something, even if it's, you know, talk to somebody about something, even to have one session, because like I noticed that I used to sneak in sessions into my like break months or break weeks. And I like, but all the times I worked, right, I've always done that. And what happened to me is that in fact, if there's any threshold for burnout, like now people say that they are burnt out, my own is that I'm beyond burnt out, right? Okay, another thing is that apart from, you know, working, right, I have never just like taken a break from life. I'm always in school, working, you know, starting a new project, doing something. Like it is weird, but it is a thing. Like I'm always doing something. Right now I'm doing my master's, I'm working, I'm starting a company. Okay, I'm just going to run you through the importance of taking a break from whatever employment that you're currently on, whether it's paid employment, whether it's you being like, you know, your own boss, whether it's taking a break from school, whatever it is, right? These are things that I've also like learned now that I'm taking a break, and also things that as a psychologist I have helped people, like, you know, I've walked through with people and it has pretty much worked. So let's get into the video. Basically what taking a break does is that it resets stuff for you. So the first thing is reset. So if you're taking a break, what happens is that your mind sort of like goes back to where it was before you were burdened with meetings all the time, before you were burdened with, you know, deadlines. What deadlines, like, hey, I want this background. What deadlines do is like they increase your stress level, right? Because there's just something that you have to do at a certain time. So you're worried about it, you're stressed about it, you have anxiety about it. But taking a break pretty much like creates a reset on all those things. So like you don't have stress about it, you don't have to worry about it. You're at that point in your mental health where it's like the focus is on you and not on something else. As a worker and you're working for other people, I mean the focus on another man's business, waiting concern you, do you understand? You as a person, even if you're working for yourself, the focus is your customers. If you notice, everything is about other people and not you. So what happens when you take a break is that everything comes back to you. Who am I really, right? You start to think about who you are really. You start to even know yourself better. Some people don't know that they are morning people, or some people don't know that they're not morning people because they're forced to wake up every morning and, you know, work in offices that they are supposed to smile, or, you know, at the front desk and all of that. But when you take this break and, like, you know, reflect on things, you just be like, I don't even like doing that thing, why am I even doing it? Like, do you understand? So that's the first thing that it can do to you, sort of like create a reset and help you understand yourself better. Okay, another major important thing that taking a break does is that it restores your energy. Obviously this thing, it sounds very, very normal, like obviously it restores your energy because you're sleeping and all of that, right? But when you take this break and all of that, when you're going back to productivity, when you're going back to work, whether it's for a leave that you take the break for, or it's just quitting and going back, when you're going back to a place where you're required to give out a lot or be productive a lot, you have energy like to give out whatever you're giving out. You have energy to, you know, work I'm not saying you should work excessively when you go out because it is not good, but you have energy to go back and, you know, push and be your best. But when you're burnt out, when you have, like, when stress has hooked you to the chest or to the throat, like, you have nothing to give. When you have nothing to give, like, productivity will not come out of it, and that's the truth about it. So that energy that is restored helps you be more productive when you actually resume. Another thing is that it helps with your ability to focus. What happens is that when you're very, very stressed, you think a lot of times when people are working, putting, you know, extra effort at work and all of that, what happens is that if you notice your body, or if you notice when you're, you know, working, when you're you know, studying or working for a long period of time, ability to focus reduces. Like, you're going, you're pushing, you're trying your best, right? But what is happening is that the more hours you're spending, the more your ability to focus is reducing. That's why it's usually at the beginning and the middle of your study times or your work times that you're pumping, pushing and all of that. But when you come back from your break, you realize that you can go like your whole day like focusing better. You can go your whole day focusing better because you have rested. Your brain has been able to reset. One thing about breaks that I know is that if you do not make effort, like actual conscious effort to take them, they will take you. As far you will start feeling it in your body. You feel it for your mind. What you feel is brain fog. You feel very tired, like you can't understand stuff. You feel like you can't go on again, like you've reached your limit mentally. Sometimes you start getting aggressive. Sometimes you're unable to communicate effectively. Sometimes you're just angry all the time. Sometimes you're sad all the time. Sometimes you're anxious all the time. For your body, a lot of times you feel fatigue, like your body is just tired and you do not know why. You're waking up from the bed every morning, you're tired, going to bed, you're tired, you're going anywhere, you're like, see, I can't even make this thing again, I am tired. When you start hearing yourself say, I'm tired, just know that something is wrong somewhere and taking a break might just be the answer for you. Another thing is that people around you might not really understand the importance of taking a break, but you as a person communicating this thing to these people and being like, see, I can't function like you, or maybe I can actually function that way, right? But it affects me. It affects me negatively, and I would like to take a break. The person might not be able to understand you, but communicating these things, like for instance, as a mom, communicating to people around you that, see, I can't take all the burden because this is too much, or I need mommy time from 9 p.m. This is where I'm not disturbed. I'm just watching something that is for me, or for a dad, like I need my me time for a certain time. You know, as a worker, telling your boss like, see, I actually have to take my lunch break. Like I have to take my leave, I have to take these things. They're very important to me, and actually making a conscious effort not to work in situations that do not actually respect these things. So in your interviews, when you're asking questions, also ask about the culture of the company, because that's very important. A lot of times we find ourselves going into a company that the culture does not allow them to respect your time. But being very conscious about these things will actually help you, you know, make time for you to, you know, take a break. So now let's go back to what you can do to actually take breaks. So some people might not be able to take, 10 days at a time break, and that's fine, right? But what you can do is that inside, while you're working, or you don't always have to wait till you're burnt out to take a break. While you're working, during your work time or whatever, like I help people practice this. So do this thing, right, where you work for 3 hours, you take a break for 15-20 minutes, work for 3 hours, take a break for 15-20 minutes. You realize that you feel refreshed when you come back after the 15-20 minutes. Now it might feel like you're dragging yourself to come back, because like, oh, I'm going back to work. Yes, but you've rested, and your brain has also rested, and mentally you feel a little bit refreshed when you're going back. You get? So that's how you can take a break daily from work or school or whatever that you're doing. Another way is to take walks, meditate, doodle, work with crayon and a book, paint, draw. If you don't have resources to do this, like I said, take walks. You can read books. You can read articles online. Do things that make you feel good about life. because the truth is that half of people right now do not even like their jobs. So if you don't even like your job, getting stressed because of something you don't like might make you feel like the world is on your shoulders, and you might not even have time to do something very long. So even if you don't have time to read like a whole book in a week, start with reading 5 pages a day. 5 pages a day, before you know it, you finish that book in a couple of weeks. It might be slow, but it is you taking time to do something that you enjoy each day. Try to engage in things that give you a sense of joy or comfort. At this time, what you want to do is relax, is to feel joy, to feel comfort. Like I said, work has a lot to do with other people, telling you if something is good or not. But when you're on that break, do things that give you joy, like inner joy. Do you understand? Let it be about you and what you find joyful or what you find comfortable. If it's sleep. Like if it's sleep you don't want to do, say sleep, right? If it's, what's that thing you wanted to do? Is it cleaning that you like doing? If you like clean every day, like does it bring you comfort? Please do it. Like at the end of the day, you are able to recharge and take all those things that it feels like you're deprived of every day and use them. Like it's sort of like a thing where when you go back to work, you'll be like, okay, at that time I actually slept though and I feel so good. And you can even reminisce and like look at all those times where sleeping brought you so much joy, right? And just look forward to the next time you have to take that long awaited break or go back home and sleep, because now you realize that it is very important in terms of recharge. When to take breaks, there is no timeline to take breaks. Take breaks anytime you feel like it is necessary. And when I say anytime you feel like it is necessary, now is necessary. You've been working, take a break please, throughout the day. Don't work throughout the day and not take one break, please. You deserve to actually work and take breaks. Like there is no, like, you don't need to work 50 hours in order to feel like you deserve a break. I'm here to tell you that you deserve it even with 5 hours of work, because without taking a break, brain fog will set in, anxiety will set in, like these things that you do not necessarily like will set in, and by then you will now start looking for a remedy for it. So before you find a remedy for something, what I believe in is preventive care, even in psychology, right? So take breaks like at any time when you feel too fatigued. So at the beginning, before you start strenuous work, at the middle when you started work, at the end when you started, like when you have quit a job or whatever, like take breaks when you can, in small doses, in big doses, as long as you can do it, please do. And even when it feels like you can't, force yourself, push yourself to take those breaks, because you will not regret it when it finally happens. So that's it from me today. I hope this video was quite helpful and it sort of like reinforced the importance of taking breaks, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.